Hello, this is Stephanie Scott. We're just waiting here to let everyone log in. So if you're logged in already, you should be able to hear me as well as see a screen that is the head slider for the webinar today. So if you can't see that, you can communicate with me through the chat function on your screen. You all are currently muted and will be muted for the entire duration of the webinar, just to prevent any feedback or extra noise happening. If you do want to communicate with me, again, you can use that chat function. Otherwise, I will kick off with a couple housekeeping things that will include how to answer questions. So I'm just going to give it one more minute for people to get all logged in. We have about half the people on already, so that's awesome. And yeah, hold on just a moment. All right, it looks like we got a good mass of people signed in, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, all of you should see a screen right now that says 2018 Water Fluency Program, our title slide for the webinar. You are all on mute, and you will be muted for the entire duration of this webinar. That is just to prevent a lot of feedback and all the extra noise that can come from having lots and lots of people on the phone at once. To communicate with me, you can communicate through the chat if you're having trouble with viewing or hearing or anything like that, technical problems. You can chat with me with that screen that's up, or you can also, I will encourage you to engage in the conversation by asking questions throughout. We will have a main question and answer period at the end of the webinar, so after we've given all the information. There is going to be a portion where we have some graduates from last year's Water Fluency Program on talking about their experience. If you have questions specifically for them, please go ahead and type that while they're talking, and I can relay those questions to them and they can answer them live for you while they're on the phone. And again, that's just by clicking the drop down or the arrow next to the questions in that side panel that you have. Type in the questions and yep, I will get it and we'll just move forward. You all, this recording is this webinar is being recorded, and you all will be getting a full copy of the recording via email afterwards. That will include the audio as well as the visual, the slide portion. So you guys can take notes if you want, but don't worry about getting down every word, because you will have access to all the slides afterwards. And then the very last slide will be all of my contact information. So if you still had questions that didn't get answered or any follow-up inquiries, please reach out to me and I am happy to answer those. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. My name is Stephanie Scott. This is me and my little guy. I work here at Water Education Colorado. I'm the Leadership and Education Program Manager, and one of the responsibilities in this exciting role is managing the Water Fluency Program. We are Water Education Colorado. We've recently undergone a whole new brand and name change. Many of you may know us as the Colorado Foundation for Water Education. We've changed our name, but not our role. Our overarching role is to promote a better understanding of Colorado's water resources and issues. And we are the only statewide nonprofit providing this type of unbiased water leadership, education, training, and news. Briefly, I'm just going to touch on our two main program areas, and then we'll continue going into all the details about water fluency, which is what I know you guys are all anxious to hear about today. So WECO is our acronym for Water Education Colorado, and one of our program areas is our content programs. We have Citizens Guide series, which you see here. These are handbooks of sort of digesting and making very complex water issues manageable and understandable for people. So these are about 30 to 50-page handbooks on all different topics, from water loss, where your water comes from, trans-basin diversions, all the really fun, complicated stuff. Through the Water Fluency Program, you will have access to these, and most of them will be used in your homework assignments. We also have our Headwaters magazine that comes out 3 times a year. This is a picture of our last one, which is on ATMs or alternative transfer mechanisms. We also have a radio show that we do, as well as our social media, our website, our blog, all of the traditional communication outlets. The second area of programs that we have are the programs that I run, and these are the more experiential, face-to-face, in-person type of programming. Those are 4 different categories. The Water Leaders is a professional development program for water professionals. So anyone working in the water industry, this is a leadership program for them to improve their personal and professional leadership skills. It's a 4-month program, and we're kicking that off here in April. Water fluency, we are going to talk plenty about today, so we don't need to go into that. And then we have a variety of tours. Our biggest tour every year is a 2-day tour where we rotate around the state, checking out a different basin. This year, we're doing it this year in the Rio Grande Basin, and that tour is June 11th and 12th. Other types of tours that we do are anything from a simple happy hour, coming to chat about water, we do a climate and water tour every year. This year, we're touring the National Ice Core Laboratory and learning how ice cores matter when we're managing water in Colorado. This week, we're doing a snowtell workshop up in Carbondale, where we're taking people out to snowshoe up to a snowtell site to learn how water is managed and data is collected and how that's used in water management across the state. So a lot of different tours we do, check those out. And then our third main education program is our Water Educator Network. This is a group of water educators all over the state that come together to help collaborate and expand and enhance water education. So everything from universities to municipal educators to K-12 teachers, nature centers, nonprofits, really anyone that's doing any type of outreach, watershed outreach, can belong to this network and work together to enhance water education. So today, here's the agenda for what we're going to cover. I'm just going to do a real quick intro into water fluency just to give you a snapshot. And then we have 3 people on the line that were a part of our Water Fluency program last year. So they're going to provide a quick testimony on what the program meant to them and what it has meant to them since they graduated. And then we'll go into all the details about what to expect from this year, registration, scholarships, and questions and answers. So just a real quick overview of water fluency before our graduates kick in. So this is a professional development course to help you understand water and lead with confidence. This is the 4th year that we put on the program, but it's the 1st year in this region. So we travel across the state, and the overarching concepts and lessons that are learned are applied across the state. So it's statewide administration, statewide concepts, statewide topics. And then as we travel around the state, we sort of weave in the local examples and the local issues and sort of how it's impacting locals. So you get both the statewide and the local perspective. So anyone from across the state can participate and benefit, even if it's not in your home region. But really, we're providing a baseline understanding of the complex water world here in Colorado to help you navigate that world and to build your network of water professionals beyond the program. So sort of where do you go once you're done? This is just a real quick snapshot. The biggest question I get is it appropriate for me to participate in this program? And this is a snapshot of the positions and the different organizations that participated last year. So you can get a feel for the type of makeup of the class. Anyone whose job intersects with water should definitely participate. Anyone who makes decisions that have water considerations involved with them. Interested citizens that want to understand better water and how it's managed. People that may work for a water organization but are new to water in Colorado or new to water decision making should definitely apply. We have a lot of city and county elected officials or city and county staff. Definitely oil and gas industry, and we also have business owners. You can see there are a couple of business owners last year. So if any of those like hit your mark, then yes, you should be applying. If you still have questions, let me know. But really, it's anyone that is interested in understanding the more complex world of water. So we are here at our alumni panel session. This is probably the most exciting portion for everyone interested. You don't have to listen to me, and you actually get to hear from people that participated and what it meant to them. So they're all going to just do a brief intro of who they are, why they took the class, and then here are just some of the questions that I prompted them with. So how did water fluency impact your knowledge and understanding of water? How did it influence your decision-making on your job then and now? And they've also added their own little spin to how this program has impacted them. So let me go ahead and unmute our first participant. So our first participant is Trisha. Trisha, are you there?
I am. Good afternoon, everybody.
All right, perfect.
So,
all right, we can hear you.
For South Alps County Water and Sanitation District, I manage our water portfolio. We have quite a few different sources. And I just took the class because I really wanted to understand better throughout the whole state. Everybody has different interest in the water, and of course I'm on the
Trisha, you're breaking up a little bit. Are you on speakerphone?
Oh, yeah, I'm on my computer.
Okay. I don't know. Go ahead. You were just breaking up a little bit.
I was probably talking with my hands and moving too much. So, you know, I really enjoyed the class. I got a lot out of it. I really appreciated the diverse nature of the people that attended the class. I would say, you know, that they offer just a plethora of different homework assignments and classes within the class. So, you know, the more time you have to put into it, the more you can get out of it. I thought that the speakers, she brought in quite a few good speakers, like Dick Wolf, who was the state engineer at the time, and Doug Kenny of University of Colorado gave a great speech on global warming, and the bus tour was great. So that's my take on the class.
Great, awesome. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in, and I can relay them back to each of the speakers. So I'm going to place you real quick on mute, Trisha.
Thank you.
And yeah, so thank you very, very much. All right, so our next person is Adam Johnson. Adam, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Good. Well,
all right.
Thank you. Again, my name's Adam Johnson. I'm with Colorado Special District's Property and Liability Pool, and I'm in safety and loss prevention. So I'm a little bit, you know, I'm not directly involved with water every day, and you know, newer to the water industry. Other than I was in construction earlier on and spent some time on some water and wastewater plants. So this, you know, helped get me involved and just hear a little bit about some of the issues and things that that we face, and wanting to be you know, help be a better resource to some of our water districts and people that we work with. The speakers that came were, you know, very influential, very knowledgeable, able to answer any questions that you have. Every hour was, you know, really jam-packed with the tours and the speakers and all the information that you gathered. So at some points it almost felt like an overload, but there was a lot of good content where you're able to kind of go back and take a look at some of the things that you had. Another piece that's been extremely valuable to me, just because of who I'm working with, was the networking and really getting to know some of the people that we have around the state that are involved in water, and where I come in with my role, trying to be a resource, and not just in safety, but also trying to connect people. So if, as issues or things have come up, whether it's in conversations or reaching out, I've been able to, put people in contact with the right people from around the state that could help them out or had similar issues, and how they came through. So it overall, helped me become a better resource for our, for the members of the Colorado Special Districts Property and Liability Pool. So it really helped me in some of those areas, and just understanding where our water districts and whatnot are coming from. And there was a great point that I'll refocus on that Tricia had made, that you get out of it, what you put in, whether it be the homework or the classes, and just the follow-ups and things that go along with it. So hope you guys all enjoy the course. It was very, very informative. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very, very much, Adam. Going to put you back on mute. And that brings us to our third and final graduate from last year. Michelle, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Stephanie. Yes, so my name is Michelle Metier, and I'm the town manager here in Minturn, Colorado. And since the water fluency class last summer, the town of Minturn has been faced with multiple water resource and management challenges. We have contracted with SGM, who we met through the class, and received references from other members of the class to conduct a water production analysis, anticipating our needs for a new water treatment plant coming up. Also, we had the joys of working with the EPA, who announced its findings on the Eagle Mine Superfund site, which is, we are just downstream of that Superfund site. And they provided a public input period for responses. Because of the class, I had a chance to meet Chris Treese with the Colorado River District and shot him a quick email. And within a week, I had a letter from the River District supporting the continued cleanup of the site. And I just need to point out that I never would have thought to call or contact Chris without this class. This class really continually impressed upon us that the Colorado water community is such a close-knit group of folks wanting to work together to improve the health of Colorado rivers. So it was really through this class that I even thought to reach out to other entities and get their support. Also, since this class, we had our very first ever in-stream flow call from the Colorado Water Conservation Board on the Cross Creek River, which is where our diversion is located for the intake to the slow sand filtration plant. And just a side note, the call, when you read through the class about the call on the river, I was expecting like this red presidential phone with lights to go off, and it's really just an email from your commissioner. So I got an email from Bill McEwen, which is our commissioner here in Minturn, and I had also had a chance to meet him through the class because he was my person that I interviewed as part of our homework assignment. So it was awesome being able to put a face to a name and an email and know who it was coming from and what it was about. And this call required Minturn to use its senior water rights in order to ensure that we had continued municipal services since our juniors are after the ISF dates. And Minturn has now scheduled a meeting with the staff at the Colorado Water Conservation Board to begin discussions on a possible injury with mitigation plan and any river restoration work that we can do to ensure the continued health of the river. I never would have known what an injury with mitigation plan was, never would have knew what an ISF was, or the dates for water rights prior to this class. These are just a few of the things that have happened in my world since taking this class. And I could talk about so many more situations that have come up. We're now looking at building a reservoir, which is in the 2016 Colorado Water Plan. We're extending water lines to 2 miles north of the end of our town. And we're reviewing costs for a new membrane filtration plant, which is all new since the class. The class meant everything to be able to go into these meetings that I'm now in and understand what people are talking about, or at least know some of the questions to start asking if I'm not understanding what they're talking about. More than anything, what the class really taught me was that Colorado has an incredibly supportive group of people and organizations here to help with all aspects of water. And it's because of this class that I feel comfortable making those calls and partnering with organizations and asking the questions that need answers. Additionally, I totally agree with the other panelists that the class is absolutely what you will get out of it, what you put into it. I found it completely amazing. And last but not least, Stephanie is an amazing facilitator throughout the entire process. Thank you for taking my texts on the weekends, my annoying phone calls about homework, and you just booked an amazing lineup of experts that led our group. And I'm constantly thankful for the knowledge and experience I gained in the Fluency class. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so glad to hear it's been amazingly beneficial since you graduated in just a short time. All right. Okay, well, I am going to go ahead and put you on mute as well. But if you can stay around and answer any questions at the end, that's great. If not, then thank you to all three of our panelists for jumping on and providing a little bit of context on what the program has meant or did mean to them while they were going through it. All right, so continuing on to the nuts and bolts of water fluency. So why does water fluency exist? So Colorado Foundation for Water Education, our previous name, had been helping Colorado speak fluent water in sort of say since 2002. But there really wasn't any statewide real professional development opportunity for people to dig in and get that next level training opportunity to understand water better. So we did a needs assessment, and it definitely indicated that there was this unique opportunity. And so since then, we've been doing this, like I said, for 4 years. Initially, our target audience was mainly public officials and community leaders. So, really those people that are, in the face of the public making those decisions. But since it really has broadened to like I said before, people that are sort of peripherally involved in making water decisions, staff at city and county instead of just like a county commissioner, all will definitely benefit, but we've definitely expanded it. So, all, anyone in Colorado coming from any background or lack of background in water can pick up from where we start providing homework and, benefit from the class. So what do we aim to achieve? Here are some of our goals. So we focus very much not only in this program, but in all of our programs here to provide accurate and balanced knowledge. So we're providing multiple perspectives, unbiased information, presenting you the facts, and letting you walk away with all of those facts to then be able to make your own decisions. So we're illustrating relationships between personal and professional activities, bringing in timely water topics. So the content we go over this year is going to be different from last year because topics have changed and the geographic region is changing. Develop and form opinions by synthesizing this relevant information. So this is what I was talking about a little bit of, ensuring that, we are providing a wide array of information for you to pick out what is relevant for your situation and be able to synthesize that and make decisions. And then we look at current and historical water-related conflicts to help us get a better understanding on why we're making decisions we are today, why water is managed, and those historical and current conflicts will provide you a little bit of context going forward in the decisions that you're going to have to make or how you will apply this post-graduation. So I know this is kind of small. There's not a whole lot here, except I wanted to make a point that we do pre and post surveys testing our desired outcomes. And the orange bar is the pre and the blue bar is the post. All these are self-rated, so essentially you're saying at the beginning of the class, I feel I'm here. At the end of the class, I felt I was here. And in all categories, no matter what we're testing on or evaluating on, people do self-identify that all the different things we are saying we are hitting, and beyond. So some of these things that we're looking at are, I know where to access information about water issues. I'm aware of the range of stakeholders affected by water issues and their unique priorities. I'm confident in developing my own informed opinions on water. I understand state-level water issues and initiatives and priorities. I feel I have the skills to create solutions for my community and my community's water challenges. So again, the numbers here aren't the details, it's just the image and the visual that by far every year people are saying we are hitting our mark and our desired outcomes. So what is the class? How is it designed? There are many components to this class. It's pretty comprehensive, and all different components, everyone will get different things from all of them. The training sessions are by far the most helpful. So this is our 3 different sessions that are face-to-face. We bring in anywhere from 10 to 15 speakers at each session and go over all of the different topics, and we'll go into those topics here in a minute. But really, through evaluation and through experience, the face-to-face person lectures are definitely the most beneficial. So we do require that everyone can attend all of them to get the certification at the end, and you'll definitely be missing a huge chunk if you can't attend one of the sessions. So we highly encourage that. The other portions are the site visits and local professionals. So at every session, we built in a tour component, and we'll talk a little bit about what those tour components are as we go through each session day here in a minute. Our readings, our online content, all the different homework that we issue, it's all very, very valuable. There is a ton of it, like you have heard from the testimonies from our graduates. We do provide a list of essentially what are the required readings that you need to read to come to the class and feel like you can participate in the conversation. Then we have another list of readings that are suggested. So if you have time to go above and beyond and want to dig a little bit deeper, here are some suggested readings. And then we also have more readings beyond that. So when they all said, like, the more you apply, the more you'll get out of it, that was really a big thing that they were hitting on, is that there are the required minimum readings, but you can explore and expand your knowledge as much as you would like through the duration of this course. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get into more of the details about some of this homework going forward and the online portion, so I won't cover that here. Certification, so when you do graduate, there's a graduation at the end. If you've participated in all the minimum requirements, which we lay out at the beginning of the class, then you'll get a certificate and a real pretty engraved plaque, and we have a fun little graduation ceremony at the end. So what to expect for 2018. So I'm just briefly going to go through the overarching topics and themes for each of the days that we have planned out for you guys this year, as well as some of the topics or the tours that we are planning. So session 1 is our only 2-day session. It used to be 4 individual day sessions, but a lot of the feedback we were getting was that by the time they got to the last session, they really didn't feel like, they just felt they were just getting to know the class participants, because so much time is spent in lectures and whatnot. So we have a 2-day session with now a dinner in between. The dinner is provided by us, and it's just an extra way to build the camaraderie of the class for these people that you are going on the water fluency journey with for the next couple months. Our first session's May 22nd and 23rd in Pueblo, and this session is all about setting up water for you. So we go into water law, water history, sort of how we got to where we're at today, different statewide and local administration. So how is water managed? Why is it managed? Like all those different things. Project planning and approval, who are the different key players. We go into interbasin projects and agreements and why those agreements matter, and calls, like Michelle was talking about. When someone gets a water call, what does that mean? What happens? How does that look when it's executed? And we also go into just Colorado's water resources in general. So, you know, water intersects everything. So what is water's role in society? What is the economic value? How it ties to public policy? The current emerging issues around water, specifically in this region, but we will cover statewide issues as well. And then just how is water used and managed statewide? So the first day will be at Southeastern Water Conservancy District, and like right outside of Pueblo. And the second day will actually be at Pueblo Reservoir all day. They have an auditorium there that will do our lecture portions, and then we'll be touring the dam. There's a piece of the Southern Delivery System there that we will tour. There is an outlet where Colorado River water is diverted from up over the mountain and comes into the reservoir. So we'll talk about Colorado River issues there. And there's also a hydropower plant that we'll tour. So day 2 is all going to be out in the field, intertwined with some lectures in the auditorium and an outside picnic and all that stuff. All right, so session 2 is going to be in Colorado Springs on June 22nd. And this is sort of taking it to the next level. So now that we have a foundation understanding of, you know, just the basic water law, administration, who are the players, how, you know, how are they all interacting? Then we're going to go into how are we actually managing and protecting Colorado's water resource. So this is everything from watershed health, how municipalities are managing infrastructure, how cities get and treat water, all the different considerations and regulations required, water sharing, agricultural transfers, so the interplay between cities and ag and rural and urban, source water protection, this new concept of regionalizing water, permitting, environmental protection, a whole bunch on water quality, and then sort of how people plan for natural disasters and considerations and building in contingencies. So this is all really sort of like, how are we actively now managing water? Who are the players? What does it look like? How, you know, sort of in-your-face examples. We are going to be touring some different facilities down in Colorado Springs that day as well, visiting an actual water treatment plan with the latest technology in water treatment and sort of the next generation of where we're going with water treatment, in a couple other different places as well. And then session 3 is all about managing water for the future. So we're going to provide a little bit of context on sort of what is some of the planning that's happening now across the state to plan for a water future, for population, for drought, for natural disasters, supply and demand, all these things that are being considered. So how are we actually accounting for that today? And then how can you guys be involved in the conversation going forward? So we don't really want you to just sit in the class and sort of, oh, well, that was great. I know now about water, and I don't really know what to do with it. So we want to ensure that you guys feel comfortable, that we sort of understand the issues that you guys are thinking you're going to be taking on and how we can best direct you and be, you know, sort of help you navigate, you know, learning about and connecting to the right people. We'll talk about Colorado's water plan, which is a big thing that's happened in the last couple of years, and how, you know, that is sort of guiding the direction for water in the state. And then we'll be touring, we'll be in Fountain for this one on July 20th. And Fountain specifically has had some water quality stuff happening with perfluoro compounds, the PFCs. I don't know if anyone's heard of those, but in the aquifer. And so they have a new treatment plant that we'll walk to and sort of explore some of the water qualities and how different cities, municipalities, water providers are, you know, really building in those contingencies into their plans to build resiliencies for when, you know, things come up. And the major component of the class that sort of is overarching throughout that you all will participate in is our partnership with Colorado State University. So we have partnered with them to use their online platform. This platform is going to be a place for us to host and, you know, post all of our class documents and homework assignments. There is going to be a place for discussion. So in between, you'll have discussion questions in between each session, and you'll communicate with your class in between there. But this site that we are accessing is actually used by degree-seeking students at Colorado State University through their Colorado Water Institute. And Glenn Patterson, who is pictured here, he is our CSU faculty that has really helped us design and make this custom to the Water Fluency Program. So you will see him. He will be at all of our programs. This is him last year on one of our tours. But essentially, the lectures that you have access to, the assignments that we've created, the quizzes that you'll be taking are all actual lectures, quizzes, discussions that degree-seeking students take through the Colorado State University. So it's a really cool opportunity. You know, people pay a lot of money for access to this type of stuff, and it's a great hub for our discussion and our class moving forward. I'm going to go real quick into the registration process. I know we have had a flurry of registration and classes filling up rather quickly. So if you are considering being in the class, I would recommend registering sooner than later. I don't know how much longer we will have seats open, but tuition is $1,250 per person. It includes everything that I've talked about. So all the course materials, the citizens guides, the online access to CSU. You will get lunch during all the sessions, all of our tours, all the transportation for the tours is included. And then I did mention there's a dinner in between that first session that will be part of, that will be included, so you won't have to pay for that dinner as well. We will be setting up hotel room blocks at all the different locations for people that are in need of hotels or want to stay over. Most of the classes will start around 9 o'clock in the morning. So depending on where you're coming from, you might want a hotel room. So we will send out the hotel block room reservations just to ensure that everyone has like the cheapest rate available in the area if you do need to do that, but booking the room is on your own. Let's see, anything else I wanted to touch on that? I don't think so. The class this year is going to be capped at 35 people. Last year we capped it at 33, so we have a couple extra spots this year. And like I said, it's filling up quickly. When you do register, this note will be on the top of your registration page. So essentially it's saying that all registrations require approval. And so once you register, we'll get notification that you've registered, and you will receive an email that looks like this that essentially says, hey, this is the information, we got your registration, and you are awaiting approval. From that point, depending on if you've applied for a scholarship or not, we will move you through the registration process and communicate with you via email or phone call on sort of where you're at. But essentially, if you're approved to get into the class, you'll receive a next email saying, go ahead and complete your registration process. And at that point, we'll collect payment. So to register and get your name on the waiting list, you do not have to submit any payments, and then payment will come after. We do prefer checks just because of the processing fees associated, but it's not required. But yeah. There are some scholarships available. So local, some different local partners have provided scholarships, but the biggest portion of the scholarships is coming from Special District Association of Colorado. They are providing 75% scholarship to help their members. They do not have, unlimited scholarships, and so anyone that would like to apply for an SDA scholarship, on the registration form, there's a place for you to submit a financial statement. So please do that, and it's just a statement of need on why you need it. And anyone that's applying for this specific scholarship specifically will be put into a pool, and the decisions, we have a list of criteria for higher priority based off of like need, organization, location. This is really centered around the southeastern part of Colorado. Most likely, if you're an SDA member and you have two people or multiple people from the same organization applying, they'll only fund one scholarship per organization. So things like that. But anyways, all of this is to say that if you apply for an SEA scholarship, your registration will be placed on that holding pattern awaiting approval until all the scholarships are decided. Once it's decided, if you get a scholarship, we'll invoice you for the rest of the amount. If not, then you will have an option to register for the class and pay full tuition if there are still spots available. And these are our sponsors for the program. We definitely could not do it without these sponsors. You will be hearing from a lot of them. A lot of them are speakers or providing some of the content for the program. So I wanted to make sure to give a shout out to them. Just going to check real quick to see if we have any questions coming in. I think I've answered most of the questions. Yeah, so some more questions on homework. So most of the questions are going to be readings. So readings from either our citizens guides or you know, articles, published articles, or just some background news stories or whatnot that sort of sets you up for the conversation that we're having that day. So most of the homework will come in form of the video lectures that are online through CSU or readings, and then the discussion questions that we have as well. There will be some extra homework beyond the readings, and a couple examples of those are getting online, and we're showing you where you can go to access how to monitor a stream gauge or a SNOTEL site. So really how you can go access some of this live data that water managers are using on a daily basis to better understand how those decisions are made and what the data trends look like. We also have a homework assignment where you have to select a local water professional, or it doesn't have to be local, I guess, but a water professional to interview. And we have some example interview questions and then any questions that you want. But essentially, this is someone that you think you might be working with or have wanted to work with, or you know, someone that has water responsibility around you that you're interested in. But essentially your role is to interview them, learn from them, and then report back to the class what you learned. And most people do this over phone if you're close enough. Some people go to coffee. Some people have gone out on like a full day tour with them if it's like a water commissioner or something like that. So I think that's probably our most comprehensive water assignment or homework that we have. But again, it's sort of as expensive as you want to make it. And then as far as the time commitment, I would say there would be about probably an hour to 2 hours at the most per week of homework. I would say it's probably more heavy front-loaded for the first session because there's two days of content instead of just one. We say it's about 25 to 30 hours of homework and discussion and all of that for the entire duration. But I would say that's definitely at the high end, and that's for people that are really like hitting all of that extra reading that we wanted you to do as well. Let's see. So someone was asking about what the discussion looks like online. So it's kind of a typical discussion forum. We will have post-class reflection questions after every class to get a sense of, you know, what you walked away with, sort of your highlights from the class, things like that. And then just a discussion question just to engage on the topic a little bit further. You know, some people, you know, participate in that, you know, like 10 or 12 different times, just like going back and forth with dialogue with classmates. Other people, the requirements is you have to, I think, you have to add, like at least post two discussion questions in between each session. So that's not that much. And it's just sort of like, you know, commenting on your takeaway or, you know, adding to the conversation. And all of those are public for the whole class to see, just the class. And Glenn Patterson, the instructor, and I will also be engaging that discussion. But like, I think Michelle was saying, I'll be your main point of contact throughout the course, and am here to answer any questions or guide you through homework, or, you know, like Michelle's case, you know, if you're, she was out at a SNOTEL site or at a stream gauge, I believe, and was wondering sort of what her homework assignment was from there. So I was, you know, assisting her as she was out on her site visit. Are there any other scholarships available? So we do have some local scholarships provided by some of these sponsors that you see here. If you are looking to possibly get one of those, on the registration page, you can fill out that financial statement, that financial needs statement. It does sort of say, I believe the registration says, like, if you are an SDA member, yes or no, and then if you are, fill out this statement. That was specifically for the SDA scholarships, but if you are in need and can't participate without a scholarship, please feel free to fill out that financial statement need, and we'll do our best to try to pair you with some sort of financial assistance. All right, and I think going through here, are there any resources? Yeah, okay, so this question is asking about sort of post-class, what are there opportunities for graduates, alumni of the program? Yeah, so we continue to be a resource. So Water Education Colorado in general is sort of a hub for sort of being the experts on who are the experts across the state. So I continuously, you know, work with water fluency graduates as they are coming across something or need to know who to connect to or whatnot. We can definitely connect you to the right people as things come up. So we're always that resource going forward. We are developing an alumni network for water fluencies. So this is the 4th year, and every year we've had 30 people, about 30 people in the program. So we have a pretty decent network of people that have gone through the course from all over the state. You will very much be keeping in touch with the people that are in your class, because that's who you know you've gotten to know, you've went through the class together, you understand where they're coming from, you know, you guys have worked through maybe some challenges together already. So that by far is going to be your best network hub, which proves to be really powerful leaving the course. But we want to develop this alumni network so that you have access to all the water fluency graduates. And then, yeah, so we sort of leave you off with that last class, just making sure you feel confident in sort of where your next steps, your natural next steps look like, and help you sort of create that plan. And you know, we will be adding you to our distribution list for Headwaters Magazine. Usually that's a member benefit, but if you are not a member and are going to be participating, we give everyone a free subscription to that, so you'll get our continued resources. We are investing heavily coming up here soon on being a hub for water news. We're hiring a news journalist on staff that is going to be sort of tracking water news and local issues, and sort of, you know, being that catalyst for sharing you know, newsworthy water stuff across the state. So you guys will be added to that as well. And so the resources that we have, you guys will definitely be connected to, but we can connect you to any other resources in the state that you feel would be appropriate for your situation. So this question is about some of our other tours and stuff that I had mentioned. All our information about upcoming tours is on our website. And yes, you can definitely participate in them while you are going through the course. We encourage it. I think, you know, the more engagement you can have and the more immersion in water, the better. So yeah, please look at any of those. If you have any questions about them, please reach out to me. I think all these other questions are duplicate. Just want to make sure really quick. All right, I think that is it. If I am missing your question for some reason, I very much apologize. Please call me right after and I can answer it. But I think I've hit all the questions. Again, thank you so much for your time and your interest in the program. This is my contact information, so if you have any questions or need any additional information that we didn't hit on, please reach out to me. We will for sure be closing registration on April 14th, but I guarantee you that it is going to close a lot sooner than that. So if you're interested, go ahead and register. And like I said, you can register without that payment information right now, and then we'll work you through the full registration and payment process once we get your name on the list. So thank you very much. Thank you for our panelists. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope to see most of you in the classes here and or out in the water community somewhere else. So thank you very much.